Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. This is the second video in our React API project. So first video was setting up our React workspace. Now it's to choose an API to build something with. So I figured instead of me choosing an API and starting off with that, I'm going to walk through the process of just looking through several different APIs. So right now I'm on this GitHub repo. So that way you can search for this GitHub repo if you want it yourself. Okay, that's the URL. And this GitHub repo lists a bunch of public APIs. So I'm just going to find some API and we'll make a project out of it. So jobs actually sounds like a good one. Let's take a look what we got for jobs. ZipRecruiter, The Muse, Upwork, Indeed. Let's actually use GitHub Jobs. Okay. So we find the API, and again, every API is different, so you always have to kind of read through the documentation. So the GitHub Jobs API that allows you to search view jobs with JSON over HTTP. For example, when searching for Python jobs near New York on the site, I am taken to this URL. Okay, so let's copy link. Let me try it out. So this is Python jobs close to New York, and we can kind of see that in the URL. See Python New York. See location equals New York as a query. Description Python. Let's see, is this to a page or to the API? Yeah, this is to a page on GitHub Jobs. Okay, back to the API. Okay, so here's where you get the JSON version. Okay, so you just add .json. Okay, so let's take a look. Copy. Cool. Okay, nice. And then we get all this. Okay, so that's how our data would look like. And let's try this. So here, if I were to try something like Manchester, Connecticut, does it find something? No. Now what if I try Chicago? Okay. What if I try Los Angeles? Okay, so it's really not. Now what if I take out location and we just make it React? Okay, it finds plenty of jobs. Okay, so let's try React and location equals, now let's try Boston. Boston, let me try New York again. And let's go back to the original. Oh, accidentally. Did I close the? Oh, here it is. Location, new plus York. Oh, okay, I see. They're using a plus sign for spaces here. Not the typical percentage 20. So it'll be new plus York. Still not finding anything in for React. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay. You can get description, location, search by jobs, by term, location, full-time. So in that case, we'll just focus on job by description. Okay. So what we'll do is that's what we'll do. We'll make an app where you can look up front-end jobs based on the front-end framework. So there'll be a tab for React jobs, Angular jobs, Vue jobs, and for Svelte jobs. Okay, that'll be our project. So in that case, usually what I like to do, okay, is just have my endpoint. So this is going to be our endpoint here. And in my project, I'm just going to create a little throwaway thing. Index.html. Oh, let's call this api.html. Nope, that's a folder. Move the trash. What did I just delete? Did I not delete this? I want to delete this. Okay, I do feel like I deleted something else, but I don't know. So let's see here, api.html. let's go to GitHub. Let me just make sure there wasn't something else I deleted. No, I think we're okay. Git ignore by the JSON lock. Yeah, that looks all good. Oh wait, did I delete the Webpack config? I think I did. Yeah, I did. So let's remake that. So I'll just copy and paste this while it's here. Copy. Luckily I had that open. New file. Webpack. .config. .js, I think. Yep. That's silly that I deleted that. Okay. Cool. Let me just make sure it's the same name. Webpack.config.js. Good. Okay. Because I need that to run Webpack. Okay. Cool. So now the reason I want this API.html, I just like to have a page where I can just run some tests on my API. So I just basically make a straight up HTML page. I'm going to write a script tag here. Yeah, I know you can hear my bird in the background. It's kind of runs around the house, but and then here I just do a fetch. Just make sure that it works. Oops. Let's go grab that endpoint again. Copy link. Fetch. So it says that. Then we do .then. Response is response.json, because that's what you always have to do after the first .then. And then the second .then will have our data. So data. And then we're going to console log the data just to make sure that it's working. Okay, and then let's open this up with live server. Take a look in the console. Okay, fetch from origin has been blocked by CORS policy. CORS to fetch 3 source with CORS enabled. Okay, so that means let's look on the API for how to deal with CORS. Okay, I'm assuming, I guess it's not built for other, I guess it's just to pull it out in general, but not really. Okay. Okay, so what's CORS? Just to kind of lay this out. CORS stands for Cross-Origin Resource Sharing. It's a security feature in browsers that allows like other websites other than your website from making requests to your API, so that way you don't get unwanted requests. So it's up to your API to actually have headers that authorize other sources to be able to make requests there. There are ways around it, like there's this thing called Heroku CORS Anywhere you can Google, which is useful if you're just doing like a hobby project. It's not something you'd want to do for something you're doing for like mass consumption, because it's kind of slow. It's a bit of a workaround. Other things you can do is you can create your own API that communicates with that API, because CORS is only affected in the browser. So I think as long as you're outside of the browser, you don't run into that CORS issue. So there's different ways around it. For this particular purpose, I don't want to go through all those machinations. So we'll just try a different API. So this is why it's always good to test your API before you get too far into your project. Let's see here. Muse, Upwork, machine learning, music, jobs. The Muse, Upwork, USA Jobs, ZipRecruiter. Okay, let's see here. CORS unknown. You do need an API key. Generally, if you need an API key, that means you have to apply for this key, and it's got to be inside your request, either in the header, in a query, or in the URL somewhere. And that's fine. Or sometimes even in the body. You have to somehow include the API key with your request. Let's try to keep this simple. So let's see here. Open skills, job title, skills, and related jobs data. So this seems pretty open. So let's go with that. Open skills, API, architecture description. The base URL is this. Let's copy that. Okay, API data work. If I click on that, what do I get? Okay, message the request URL was not found on the server because that's just the base API or the base URL. I don't need that anymore. Here we go. Swagger specifications. Okay, here are the endpoints. Let's see here. Normalized job title, normalized skill name, request response formats. So let's see here. Skills, autocomplete, skills. So the endpoints shown here are duplication of the current endpoints targeted at mainly viable product. Please refer to canonical API documentation here. So let's see what happens if I put this in there. Okay. Valid query mode specified for job title autocomplete. So do I deliver the actual query through an API? Oh, here we go. Here we go. So here are the different queries we can put in. So let's see if they have a list of queries. Job title autocomplete, methods, output. Okay. Ends with manager. I guess we have to do it by skills. You search based on skills, I think is what we want. So let's find the skills documentation. Skills, here we go. Begins with Java. Okay, so that's kind of gonna work for me. So skills autocomplete. So then let's change this with React. Message internal autocomplete. So API skills. Skills. I'll erase some parts of it. So let's go back. So I want skills. Begins with equals React. So let's see here, normalize skill. No, I just want React. So let's see here. Let's go back to the API. Change React. I think this is kind of what I want. I want to autocomplete because it's just React is what I'm looking for. So, you know, we keep testing out till we find the endpoint we want. Yeah, okay, let's change this with React. Time. So these are actually a list of skill names. So yeah, this API doesn't quite work either. Okay, so let's go back. So this is always the journey when it comes to selecting an API. So let's see here, GitHub jobs, we already tried that. Okay, let's just try a different idea then. Crowdsourced lyrics and music knowledge, Last.fm. Music, yeah, let's just try Last.fm. No, they need an API key. I want to keep this simple. Generator unknown, music genre generator. So how does this work? What is binary? How does it work? We use every node at once as a base to take parts of genres. Genre story. Okay, doesn't sound quite interesting. Or we can just do events. Feedbin is an RSS reader. Oh, but you need OAuth. The only one you don't need it is chronicling provides access to millions of pages of historic U.S. newspapers from the Library of Congress. Meh. Patent, personality, photography, science and math, security, shopping, social. Integrate Discord into an external platform, Cisco Spark, Buffer, LinkedIn, the foundation of all digital integrations, Mixer, Reddit, Slack, Tumblr. None of these are particularly interesting to what I need at the moment. Postmon, an API that query Brazilian zip codes, orders easily. Search for sharing tips. Transitland API, open APIs. Safe restroom access for transgender, intersex, or gender non-conforming individuals. No. Yes. Okay, actually that's kind of interesting. Let's see how this works. Restrooms by location. And this is actually much better documentation. I can see here's the endpoint. And okay, good. Actually even has a form to help you generate your endpoint. That's really nice. Okay. Yeah, this is a winner. So we'll create some sort of bathroom finder. You do it by zip code. No. That's good enough. We can do it by city. So we'll do, you know, bathroom finder in all the major cities. That's what we'll do. Okay, so let's just test this out. So restrooms by location. So again, this is the base URL. So that's the base URL. And we want, this is our next part. Okay. And let's see here, page integer, per page integer, offset integer. Okay, default value page offset fetch, only return restrooms that are ADA accessible, sure. Only return restrooms that are unisex, number, float, query, type. So we have to include a latitude and longitude. So we'll have to get a latitude and longitude for New York City. So let's do this, latitude or coordinates for New York City. Here we go. I'm assuming this is latitude, then longitude, because I think that's the order it's usually done. I always forget which one goes on which axis. So let's see here. So it would be a query with latitude and longitude. And lat is this. Should it give me an example of how to write the latitude? Number. Okay. So Control C. And then see how it wants me to do longitude, L and G. Okay, so L and G is this equals this. Let's try that out. Float. Question is, how does it know if it's north or south? I should give an example. Actually, let's try that. Maybe it shows it right here. New York, New York. So here's how it, so here's the latitude and longitude right here. So I can just borrow it from here and see if that works for me. So I guess it doesn't want to be LNG. There we go. Orlando. Oh, okay, it's called Orlando, but it is in New York. Okay, got it. So we have it working. Now let's try calling it from our application, or like our test page here, just to make sure that CORS isn't an issue. Save. And again, I want to open this up with live server. And let's look in the inspector. And huzzah! There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so we have our API. So that's tested. It passes. We know how the endpoint works. We know how it doesn't pass the CORS check. So we are good to go. And we've done an initial fetch just to make sure how it works. So now we can actually start building our apps. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video.